All right, everybody, welcome back to another video. And today we are looking at ticker DJT, which is Trump Media and the essential ethos of Trump's Truth Social network. And as you can tell, this is after the election. So Donald Trump, as of right now, is the winner of the United States presidential election, going to be the 47th president of the United States. And it's incredibly interesting to see what is happening in this ticker as he wins the election or appears to be the winner, as well as the open short interest in the market. So, looking at the daily chart, this is incredibly interesting. But what I want to pull up first is this website that shows that Donald Trump has roughly 18% short interest in this ticker. Now, I have a theory, and it is merely a theory, but hang with me for a second on this. During his assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, there was a lot of money from institutions coming in that were piling in the shorts leading up to that rally. Now, this is getting into conspiracy land. I'm not here to speculate, but this is just interesting when you're looking at market metrics. And you have all of this short interest in, you have a lot of institutions running this thing short, trying to pile it down, and they largely succeeded when you look at this area of the chart right here. I mean, we've been in a steady downtrend all spring and summer, essentially. And then we're starting to see this little rip in the fall coming up to the election, but I think this was largely anticipated. But going back to my theory that, they wanted this guy dead, they tried to kill him twice. Institutions pumped in so much money into this ticker to sell it short. The question begs, and you look at the title of this video, when does the short squeeze start to happen? And now you can argue that that happened last night during the election, as let's look at the 4-hour chart. Did that happen here into the election when we're looking at this push up? But let's chart some levels and look at the overall trend of this ticker. So we can keep this very, basic and simple. But when I'm looking here, I like to look at what was this area of clear resistance, right? So we notice that when we're coming up into this, right? I want to make this a little, let's make this a little like peachier. Maybe that'll be a little bit easier to see. But we have this acting as clear support. Now, for argument's, clear resistance. For argument's sake, let's draw somewhat of a range based on what we see here. So let's go from about April to now, and let's color this one green so it can represent what may be somewhat of support. So we have a range that is clear within this ticker, right? We did sweep below it, so we had this massive swing low, which arguably served as the bottom of this at $11.75 off of its peak from 79 bucks, right? So we've been pushing down. You have all the litigation that took place against Trump. And this further validates the thesis of the short interest increasing. So I believe there's only 36 million shares outstanding or something like that. So the float is relatively low for this ticker. So it does give us clear representation and a clear recipe for what could be a really big short squeeze. So let's dive into some of the lower time frames here. This is on the daily chart as we just looked at. So let's go into the hourly. And now the range becomes a little bit more obvious. And it's interesting that we have a lot of the heavy buying taking place in the pre-market. And then during the regular trading hours, you see a lot of heavy selling pressure. But I think the overall point of this video and what we really want to focus on is everything that took place leading up to the election. So this is election week. So for this week's low, we're at 27, but we are well within the range here of support. We had a clear double bottom here, 1 and 2. Let me just mark that out for visual sake. So we have 1, and then I want to get another 1 in here, 2. So we have our double bottom. We had a little bit of a test down here, which might have been somewhat of a liquidity grab, depending on what you would like to call some of these moves. But right here, you have this price level serving as a liquidity grab, and then we just had our solid rip up. We did test into this support zone again in the pre-market last night, and then boom, we shot up. Now, mind you, you can make the argument that drawing support and resistance, supply and demand, whatever it is just lines on a chart, shapes on a chart. And although that's true, this is hindsight, but it's very obvious that we're looking at what appears to be some momentum gaining in this ticker. So on the 15-minute, we are above now the support. So are we starting to consolidate here before we can start this move up back into the 50s? So as we get into the 5-minute time frame, what we're looking at is more of the same from the 15-minute, and we have some sort of a double bottom, potentially triple bottom right here in this zone around 36 bucks. So we've consolidated here before last week, had a little bit of a sweep down. I'm looking to see this be support, because at what point do we zoom in? Again, you have the election yesterday, very choppy. And if you look at my video from 2 days ago, you never want to trade before the election. You're not going to get much movement. It's just going to chop you up, take your money. And that's how it works. But when we're looking at this rip up, it's incredibly interesting that as we start to see these states be called overnight from the election, we are in by all means a very nice uptrend. We peaked at $55 almost to the nose before we had some consolidation and a sell-off. So the question remains, are the shorts still going to pile in and keep this thing down? And what is the catalyst going to be that results in either a short squeeze or the shorts having to cover to rip this thing up? So with us seeing this very strong sell-off, but we're not getting close to this demand zone again, are we going to start to see a solid rip up? And as we are here, it's 11:30 in the morning, and we're starting to see what could be somewhat of an uptrend line. So if we're looking from here to here, we have what looks to be somewhat of a breakout trend about to happen. Now, mind you, since we're coming off of a sell-off, this could just be coming up to sell further down. Who knows? But with this trend line that we're seeing so far, it appears to be that we're seeing a push up. And I would like to see at least the 40s get retested again, because look at what we see here on the 40s. You have yesterday's resistance at $40.36, tested it and sold off in the afternoon. We actually tested it right here. Okay, so we tested it, sold off. At what point do the 40s become support and then we're off to the races on the 50s? I think this is going to be a multi-day sort of scenario here. I don't think you're going to see any quick moves on this, but look where we are in the 1 minute. Now we're starting to creep ourselves back up. So this is what I'm looking at in DJT. Do know that I do not have any open positions in this. This is merely entertainment value and what I love to do when analyzing these tickers in the market. But I just think this is a great case study for a presidential candidate who has a publicly traded company. We have in real time looking at what the ticker will do as he's coming into the election and what we're looking at. And we get to look at this in the coming weeks and month as to how this happens. I will be doing another video as he begins to take office, because as we head towards January, the beginning of the year, what are we going to see within Truth Social? What are we going to see in this ticker and the price action itself and the open interest with the shorts here as well? So guys, if you like this video and want me to do any analysis on other companies, by all means, please share. And also, I want to get your opinions in the comments down below. I'm no expert by any means, but what are you looking for in this company? What's your position looking like? And any comments might be able to help out potential viewers who are looking to trade or get into this position for the long or the short term. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please comment down below, give me a subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll see you in the next video.